Hi, my name's April and welcome to Tennessee. First of all, I want to thank Paula Dean and Philadelphia Cream Cheese for putting together this competition. The dish that I'm going to make today is inspired from whenever I was little, and I would go to my grandmother's house, or even my mom would make it sometimes, but we would have broccoli and then Velveeta cheese would be melted all over the top of it. And of course we loved it. It was just kind of a comfort food for the kids and a way to get us to eat broccoli. But I was thinking about this dish and I thought, how can I make it more adult, all grown up? So I'm calling it all grown up broccoli and cheese. And I've added some twists to it, made it really special, and it's simple but special, and I think that's how all food should be. So I hope you enjoy and come along for the ride. First of all, I'm just going to crack some garlic cloves. I've got 2 garlic cloves that I'm going to add into about 1.5 pounds of broccoli. Garlic. What's funny about garlic is I never actually used garlic. My mom never used garlic. My grandmother never used it. I mean, they may have used the stuff that was in the cans or the little jars you can buy, but they never actually used real fresh cloves of garlic. And I pretty much learned everything about cooking from Food Network. Paula Dean taught me most of the knowledge I have. Paula Dean, Rachel Ray, all those shows. I mean, I just started learning and seeing all these ingredients I had never seen before. And I thought that was really, really neat. And so I would just come home from the grocery every now and then and just have something I had seen. You know, and garlic was one of them. I mean, it sounds funny now to think that I never used garlic at all or ate any fresh garlic, at least not that my mom cooked. But now I use it all the time. And the good thing about it is my fiance loves garlic and he loves cream cheese. He loves anything creamy, anything cheesy, and anything garlicky. So yeah, he loves this dish. So I'm adding about 2 cloves of garlic to about 1.5 pounds of broccoli. Then I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to say about 3 tablespoons of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, just to soak broccoli will soak all that up. Next thing I'm going to do is take some kosher salt and about a teaspoon of kosher salt. And of course freshly ground black pepper. It's another thing Zach, my fiance, loves, black pepper. He loves things to have a lot of pepper in them. I love things to have a lot of salt in them. I always say girls like salt, boys like pepper. And actually I'm going to add just a little bit more. 4 tablespoons. I don't like to measure very much. I mean, it's okay, but I don't know. Getting all the measuring cups out, getting them dirty, it's just kind of a pain. Next thing I'm going to do, I actually learned this. I said I learned everything from Food Network. I learned this from the Neelys. They do a roasted broccoli. I think theirs has shallots and maybe something else, but they put some red pepper flakes in it. So that's what I'm doing with this one, and it's really good. It gives it that little kick. About a half teaspoon. Said I don't measure, but half teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I measure with red pepper flakes. You have to be careful with those. Those can come back and bite you if you don't know how much you're putting in. Believe me, I've made that mistake. So it's funny. I've made about every mistake you can make when it comes to things you can do wrong in the kitchen, because I've really just learned from trial and error. I mean, I'm still learning from trial and error. Say I probably always will. So now I've mixed all this together. I'm just going to pour my broccoli. You might have to get some of that garlic out. Use your hands, mine are clean. Get some of that garlic out. And red pepper flakes. And just kind of spread it out on the pan here. And I have my oven preheated at 400 degrees. These are going to go in for about 15 minutes, and I'll probably give them a little shake. Turn them around a little bit about halfway through, just so those little tree leaves don't start crisping up too much. Okay, now I'm going to get this in the oven. Okay, while the broccoli's in the oven, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take 2 tablespoons of butter, and we're actually going to make a roux, which I learned from Paula Dean. I had never actually seen a roux being made. I mean, my mom may have made them, but I'd never seen it done. Took some trial and error, I'll say that. I definitely didn't get it right the first time, but I've spent a lot of time watching Food Network and watching Paula Dean make roux. So I've got 2 tablespoons of butter. What we're doing now is we're making a cream cheesy sauce. to go over our delicious roasted broccoli. Okay, so we got our butter melting in here. And the next thing I need to get is the flour. And I'm going to do about a fourth a cup of flour to go in here. Just kind of sprinkle that in. And don't worry, the star ingredient is coming. Okay, now that the flour has had some time to cook on the stovetop with the butter, I'm going to add in a cup and a half of milk. Slowly pour that in and get it all incorporated. Just had to sneeze, excuse me. Now we're going to take about a half teaspoon of salt, season up the sauce. And of course some freshly ground black pepper. Zach wouldn't have it any other way. So I've got that in there. I love how ground pepper smells right when you grind it, especially into a hot dish like this. It just smells so good. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is add nutmeg, and I actually learned this from Food Network as well. Nutmeg goes great in cream sauces and also goes great with dark greens. So we have broccoli, cream sauce, perfect match. So poured about a fourth of a teaspoon of nutmeg in our cream sauce. Get it all mixed up in here. Okay, now that our cream sauce is thickened to the way that we want it, the consistency that we wanted, I'm going to take it off the heat and then add the special ingredient. I'm going to add our cream cheese, which really does make this dish. It makes it so creamy, so delicious, and I mean, you just can't go wrong with it. So, got that in there. We have 3 ounces. I'm just going to let that melt in there. Cream sauce is just good. It just looks good. It's kind of fun to stir around just because it's thick. It's like delicious. So, and I am using the 3rd less fat cream cheese because it melts just the same, and hey, if I can get away with it, why not? Okay, now that that's melting up, I've got a cup of sharp white cheddar and a fourth a cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. And yeah, I'm gonna put this right in there. So good. And what's great about this too is you can use any kind of cheese you want. I mean, I like white cheddar. I like sharp white cheddar. I just like the flavor. And then of course Parmesan. I mean, delicious. Now I'm going to add another special ingredient to this that really just makes it delicious. And that is some sun-dried tomatoes. I've chopped a fourth of a cup, well, maybe a third of a cup, fourth of a cup, third of a cup, however much you like them, of sun-dried tomatoes. And I'm just going to add these to the sauce. And I love sun-dried tomatoes. They're just sweet and chewy, and they just give it just something extra. They just make it really good. Now I'm going to pour the sauce all over the top. I mean, let me let you see that. That is so good. The last little touch I'm going to do, I've got another fourth of a cup of Parmesan. I had a fourth in the sauce, and I've got another fourth right here. I'm going to sprinkle that on top throughout, and it's all on there. And I have taken some prosciutto, and when I roast the broccoli, I just put about 2 or 3 slices, however many you want, prosciutto slices, thinly sliced, in the oven, and for about 8 minutes, you can turn them halfway through, and they get crispy like bacon. You hear that? It is so good. I love prosciutto. Now I'm going to put this in the oven for another 7-8 minutes, just to let the top Parmesan get kind of crisped up and browned, and then it'll be time to eat it. It's so comforting, and nothing else can comfort you like cream cheese. Philadelphia cream cheese. Good job. I don't know who invented you. You're awesome.